Hi, the SI meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Tuesday, December 4th. A very mild start to the day here in the Mid-Atlantic region. In fact, temperatures this morning in the Philadelphia metro region are already at normal highs for the day. We're in the low to mid-50s right now. Afternoon temperatures should jump up into the upper 60s, perhaps even touch 70 degrees in and around the D.C. metro region. In fact, the airports in the D.C. metro region touched 70 degrees yesterday, so this very well could be back-to-back 70-degree days in early December across Washington, D.C. There is a cold front moving to the east, however, will become more seasonable by tomorrow afternoon and downright chilly on Thursday as cold high pressure sits on top of us with mostly sunny skies. Temperatures might actually be confined to the 40s, which will be quite a change compared to the warmth of today and yesterday. There are some changes down the road, and let's first start off by looking at the longer term prospects. Again, it looks very mild today, a little bit colder again for the next couple of days, but then somewhat mild again over the weekend. But some changes by the middle of the month are in the offing. One of the first things to notice here, this is actually a temperature chart of the stratosphere way up in the northern latitudes from 65 degrees north all the way to the North Pole. This is way up in the atmosphere. 70 millibars are at the top of the atmosphere, and it's a temperature pattern. And here we are now in early December right here. And just notice this interesting spike right here. This is a rather sudden stratospheric warming in the northern part of the world here in the northern latitudes. And sometimes that leads to some changes down in the lower and middle latitudes and down in the lower part of the atmosphere, the troposphere, a couple of weeks later. So that's one indication that there might be some changes to the overall pattern over the next couple of weeks. This sudden spike in stratospheric temperatures way up in the northern latitudes. It's not atypical for that to happen during the winter time, but compared to last year, that this is happening a little bit earlier, and we'll see what the significance of that may be over the next couple of weeks. Last year we had this sudden spike right here during the month of January. So kind of an interesting spike, again, with stratospheric temperatures in the northern latitudes. And now let's jump ahead to a 7 to 10 day forecast for the European model. This is at 500 millibars, or about the middle part of the atmosphere. It's an average of the 500 millibar height anomalies in the 7 to 10 day period late next week into next weekend. Quite a little different pattern here than what we're experiencing right now. A couple things to note. First of all, the polar vortex here is kind of sliding to the south, and a kind of a cold looking pattern here for much of the middle part of the country come the latter part of next week, according to this European forecast, European model forecast. The red or orange out here indicates maybe upper level ridging here off the west coast, as well as maybe now developing here over the Atlantic. So a couple things. This is a colder looking pattern for much of the U.S. compared to what we have today and compared to what we'll have for this week. So this, combined with what's happening in the stratosphere, indicates there may be some changes, and indeed it looks like by the middle part of the month the U.S. Will tend to get colder and colder. One final thing here, there's lots of reds and oranges right here. This is kind of indicative of blocking over Greenland, which is situated right here, upper level ridging. And one of the indexes we follow here is the NAO, and it looks like it very well may become more negative as the month progresses. So again, some changes are possible here in the U.S. temperature-wise by the middle part of the month. Well, let's get back to the current situation. This is the current surface map, and here's a cold frontal system out over the Ohio Valley. High pressure, again, situated off the southeast coast, pumping in mild air, and today will probably be the warmest day of the last couple, with temperatures again approaching 70 degrees in D.C., upper 60s across Philadelphia, some sunshine up and down the east coast. There is a band of showers associated with this weak frontal system. It'll move through by late tonight, early tomorrow morning. It could be some scattered showers after midnight in the Mid-Atlantic region into the morning hours, not a heavy rain event. Meanwhile, another heavy rain event is occurring today across the same region from Northern California up to the Pacific Northwest coast. Could have 3 or 4 inches of rain, additional 3 or 4 inches of rain in parts of Northern California over the next 24 hours. Here's the latest infrared satellite loop from the SSEC Wisconsin website. Thick clouds here associated with that frontal system over the Ohio Valley, and again there's a band of showers associated with it. They'll tend to weaken somewhat as they move into the east. Nonetheless, there can be a shower or two late tonight into the early part of Wednesday. Here's yet another onslaught of storms here occurring over the next 24 hours from the Northern California region up to the Pacific Northwest coast. They've just had, of course, an influx of frontal systems and storms with that atmospheric fire hose set up, transporting moisture from the tropical central Pacific all the way to the west coast. That'll start to taper off as the week progresses, but over the next 24 to 36 hours, one more big storm is in the offing for that part of the country. Here's the latest radar image for the nation as a whole. Here's that frontal system right here over the Ohio Valley. A couple of showers, by the way, right now in and around the New York City region. They ought to move off, and partly sunny skies are likely later on this afternoon in the New York City region. Partly sunny to mostly cloudy. Definitely some sun across Philadelphia and D.C. These showers will steadily move eastward, and again after midnight into the early part of the morning hours, anywhere along the I-95 corridor, there can be a couple of showers, not a heavy rain event. Out here out west, though, it is another major precipitation event for the next 24 hours, with rain along the coast and heavy snow in the higher elevations inland over the next 24 hours. Well, let's take a look at a couple of computer forecast maps. This is from last night's Zero-Z GFS model run for tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning. By this time, the next cold front is right along the east coast here. Again, a little bit of precipitation in the form of rain up and down the east coast, but not a heavy rain event. After midnight tonight into the morning hours, it can be a shower or two. The winds will pick up tomorrow afternoon. There can be some sunshine, and temperatures will become much more seasonal compared to today, with a northwest wind bringing in colder air. And this is quite a chilly Canadian air mass here, quite a strong high pressure area that will control our weather for Thursday and into Friday. And here is the computer forecast map for Thursday, and that Canadian high pressure has moved all the way to the east coast. Despite plenty of sunshine on Thursday, it looks like temperatures will mainly be confined to the 40s, which is actually a little bit below normal, and of course it'll feel very different compared to what we're experiencing today, with temperatures approaching 65 to 70 degrees in the Mid-Atlantic region. Meanwhile, still some precipitation out here in the Pacific Northwest come Thursday, but the next 24 hours will bring a heavy rain event, and then things will start to slowly wind down later on this week out along the west coast. Well, that's it for now. For the SIWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.